Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match Podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
Back in the house, baby, for a round 4 pod.
Man, we got Manny. We did kind of drag Manny back into the house, but Manny is now in the house and ready to go.
Yeah, it's past midnight on a weekday, but I mean, that's, standard for us, right?
Yeah. At this point, it's kind of sad, but yes, it's the truth.
Well, we're just coming off a high of a Devils win in Game 7. So,
Yeah, we both got our red on, our Devil's red.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it was a great performance today. So we're looking forward to round 2. I think other tennis betting guys, I think John Reed from Match.9, he's happy with the Maple Leafs. So we're happy too. The tennis guys are happy with the hockey.
Who do the Devils play?
They play Carolina.
That's right.
And Carolina is a good team. I'm a little bit.
I mean, it's just more like there's just like not a fun matchup though. Like the Rangers are just more fun matchup. Like Carolina's like meh.
But like thinking about it, the Devils actually match up really well with the Rangers because like
I'm not saying hockey wise. I'm just saying in terms of like
fun
as like a casual fan. Like
yeah, they've had their battles with Carolina in the past. But yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I was hoping the Islanders would win, would have beaten Carolina because then we would have Devils Islanders.
That would be pretty cool. Too. That would be cool. Fun, yeah.
So, all right. So
I think it's on to tennis.
Yeah, right. Back into what we actually know about.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we don't know that much about it. So
hey, you know what? It wasn't as bad as Saturday. This round was not as bad as round 3 was. It was still bad, but it was better than round 2.
So I had like a 80 unit day on day 1, and then like after that, it's just been going downhill. I mean, I do have
been downhill the whole time. But on a positive note, and I guess like we want on a positive note, our futures are still doing okay.
Yeah, positive note. Yeah, futures are doing well, but like,
and I guess we can start there, right? Like one of our bigger futures is Taylor Fritz, and he won today against Garin.
Yeah, Fritz has actually looked better. So like I thought, like I was actually right about this. Like I thought the O'Connell match was the danger match for him, like because he starts tournaments slow, right? And like getting in the groove, getting used to the conditions, like that's usually kind of a trouble spot for him. But if he gets through that, he's been decent. Like he's made, I think, quarterfinals in every tournament he's played other than Australia this year.
Well, so ironically, right, outside and Papirin played really well in that match, obviously, right? It's probably the best match Papirin's ever played.
Right.
But like amazingly, he still is letting too many guys into matches, but he's winning them.
Yeah, he's a good over 12 and a half guy.
What?
He's a good over 12 and a half guy.
But I'm saying even in early rounds, right? Early rounds against like guys who he's better than, like he's still letting guys into matches more than I'd like. Like he lost a set to Fucevicz in Munich. Lost a set to Shelton in Indian Wells, but I didn't love because Indian Wells has played that court plays so slow. I think it was a night match. So like I don't love the way he's like still letting weaker players into matches, but he is pulling out the matches at least.
Yeah, he looked very good against Garin. Like I thought O'Connell was more of a danger match than Garin, but like Garin has a better clay court pedigree, and like
So I hear you because I think they're kind of equal because I think Garin's definitely the better clay court player than O'Connell.
Yeah,
but I think Fritz is also much more susceptible in the first match of a tournament. Like it seems like it takes him a while to get adjusted to whatever tournament he's playing.
But he played a hell of a first set. He played probably one of his best sets all year, and then even in the second set, like he was the way better player. Garin was the one struggling to fight through and kind of hold serve. And Fritz actually served for the match at 5-4, and Garin broke back.
What happened in that game? Did Garin play a good game, or did Fritz just choke it?
No, Garin played a good game.
Okay.
I mean, Fritz did. I think he hit a double fault to get broken, but like other than that, like Garin played a good game. So, but he was clearly the better player. Like if you look at the stats, I think he won way more points. Let me see.
Well, yeah, because he won the first set 6-1, right? Like anytime you win the first set 6-1,
Right.
you're going to rack up points.
But
But even
also
the
like,
second set, I think Fritz was better. I actually looked at this.
but
So
Garin's Fritz had 12 break points to Garin's 1.
yeah, and he had 9, and he had nine of those break points came in the second set.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he was definitely the better player.
He was dominant. He won
this is actually
61%
amazing.
of the
So for a
points.
7-6 set, this is incredible. For a 7-6 set, Fritz won 27 out of 65 on return, which is really good. Garin won 7 out of 34 and somehow got a break.
Yeah. No, it was just that one game. Fritz got a little tight, and Garin played a good game. Probably the game of the match. So,
but you're right. So that's really good to know going forward, because that means Fritz is really
no, Fritz is playing well, and he was very open about it in his post-match interview, like, about his like adjustments he's made on clay this year.
Yeah.
He's like
hitting clearly
more
he's
of that
practicing on the
loopy...
surface.
Yeah.
He's playing a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
On the clay than he ever has.
He's not going as flat on the forehand. He's using more loop on the ball. Like, he's trying to redirect balls better. So he's actually tactically playing a lot better. So, and I like his draw. If you like Tsitsipas, like if we transition to him,
I guess we can transition to Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas is the scary guy there. Lost another set today.
He looks very vulnerable. Like, Tsitsipas does not look good. And actually,
and he hasn't looked good. He really hasn't looked good all clay season, right?
Like, he has not. No.
Like, if we look at his matches, on clay this year, he played 5 games against Bonsai, beat Yari and Monte Carlo. He beat Yari up pretty good, but Yari hasn't played well since South American swing. Lost to Fritz badly. They went to Barcelona, beat Khachanov. Khachanov looked terrible prior to this tournament. Beat Shapo.
Well, Khachanov has looked good this tournament. He's looked good in Madrid. And
no, this tournament has been different. I'm saying, but prior to this tournament, outside of Madrid, he's been awful this year. Tsitsipas beat Shapo, not impressive. De Minaur is like his dog. He just takes him out for a walk and lets him go poop.
Yeah, it's just a matchup.
It's just a matchup. I mean, De Minaur just can't. De Minaur struggles in a lot of these matchups. There's just so like De Minaur. He does amazingly well for like his rank, but he just struggles in a lot of matchups.
He's kind of like a worse version of Khachanov in that aspect. Like, I actually think he's worse against top 10 guys than Khachanov even is.
But I actually don't think there's anything like Khachanov has like what does De Minaur do is the problem.
Yeah, well, Khachanov has more upside. He has more potential. I don't know.
Like Khachanov, it's like, okay, dude, learn how to volley at like a college player level. Like, the only reason he doesn't have to be good at things, just be like semi-capable. And
well, De Minaur has to really hope for like a huge off day. That's the only way.
That's my point. Is like, what does De Minaur like? It's not like De Minaur can get any better. Like, De Minaur's gotten every ounce out of what he has. I think.
I know. Yeah.
It's just like he just doesn't have the game to match up with these guys. Like,
and even when he's playing a lower ranked guy who has way more power, like today against Karatsev, like, it's just, if Karatsev is playing well, it's a really tough matchup for him.
Well, he's basically, De Minaur needs one of 3 things to happen. He's the guy to play badly. Well, he either needs the guy to not be very good or not be like a top 20 player.
Yeah.
He needs the guy to play badly, which happens occasionally. He needs, and those are kind of the same thing. Or he needs the guy to fall apart mentally, which occasionally happens. He can drive guys nuts mentally. Or he needs the guy to like fall apart physically. Yeah. But he can't win the match himself. He either needs the guy to fall apart technically, physically, or mentally.
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, credit to him. He's maximized what he has, but
I mean, he's made top 20 in the world, and he won a 500 this year, 500 champion.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, back to Tsitsipas. So, like,
like beating Musetti in 3 sets, like, okay, but not really Tsitsipas' standard. Got drilled by that 3 and 4 was gracious to Tsitsipas. He got drilled.
That score is more lopsided than that scoreline shows.
Yeah, and then he struggled against Thiem and Baez here, and Baez has not been great on this European clay swing.
So like, on our last pod, we were talking about his match with Team, and it was like, oh, we were Team is he somewhat back? Like, that was a
I didn't see
impressive
the
performance
Baez
with Team.
match.
Huh?
I didn't see the Baez match. I heard it was bad.
No,
You said it was bad, and I read
really
something on
bad.
Twitter
Like,
that said it was bad.
he was hitting every backhand short. He couldn't convert break points. He was not opportunistic. Like, he was shanking a ton of balls. I mean, it just like he's going to beat Bernabe just on serve and attacking, quality. But there's nothing that impresses me about what he's shown. And also, like, but my point about Team is like we were commending Team and this and that. Like, we thought he played a good match. Maybe Tsitsipas just didn't play a good match. Like, that's why that match was so close.
But we watched that match, and I thought Team played more attack. We both thought Team played better. Like, this is where
I don't necessarily think Tsitsipas played that well. I just think Tsitsipas was kind of at Team's level, and maybe Team it was maybe 10-20% better than he's been all year.
Okay.
But I don't think Tsitsipas played a particularly good match. So
okay. All right.
But like my point is that I like that Fritz is in his quarter. Like, I actually see him beating him right now if they play.
I think Fritz is actually the favorite in that half right now. And not just because I have a futures, but like, I mean, Medvedev almost lost to Shevchenko today.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shevchenko is pretty good though. I mean, I have to give it to him. He played a very good match.
No, yeah. I get that. I agree. Like, he's way better than his ranking.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think straight up I would take Fritz over either of those guys right now. I actually think Medvedev is closer than Tsitsipas.
That's a good point. Yeah, Fritz is in the fourth quarter actually, so
he plays Medvedev. If he makes the quarter, which he should, and so should Medvedev, they would play each other.
Yeah, I actually think like Struff is the danger guy in Tsitsipas's quarter. Like, I actually think Struff could beat Tsitsipas if Tsitsipas is playing the way he has the last two matches, because I think altitude helps Struff. It helps his big serve and forehand. And if he can find ways to attack Tsitsipas's backhand, he's vulnerable from that wing right now.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see what the odds are on Struff to win that quarter now. The problem with Struff is that like Khachanov is actually a danger match, because like Khachanov has played well and like Struff can lose to anyone.
Yeah.
So like
I mean, lost to Hugo Gaston a couple weeks ago.
if I'm gonna hit this, I really need a good price. Otherwise, I'm not even gonna think about it.
325 is not anywhere near good enough.
It's not nowhere near good enough. So yeah. Wow, Fritz.
I still think the play there is Tsitsipas in that quarter. Like, I wouldn't take it at minus 185. The price is crappy. I wouldn't take it at minus 185. But I'm saying, like, I don't know. I still think it's a good quarter for Tsitsipas. But
yeah. But I'm telling you, if Struff plays Tsitsipas, like if Struff gets past Khachanov and then plays Tsitsipas, if I get a line around like plus 250 I'm taking Struff.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I guess transitioning to a couple of smaller matches. Do you have anything on BU? You had a play on the Morales match today, right? That you won?
Minus 2.5. It was a sweat. It probably wasn't worth it, but nah. Against Safiullin.
Yeah, I was happy. So far the match we talked about, I had the over on the Fritz Guerin match, which didn't come through.
Okay.
But I had the over 12.5 on which I thought was actually the better play.
You got lucky on that though. I hit that.
I did.
Yeah, that's a lucky hit because Fritz served for it 5-4.
You're right, and Fritz was the way better player. You're right. It was lucky. It was lucky. Fritz really played a lot better.
How about Zhang against Nori?
Well, I guess so is anything to say about Bernabe or not really? Who did he beat?
Roman Safiullin.
Anything to say about that? You said it was just an eyesore of a match, right?
It was just an eyesore of a match. It's just like Safiullin, like he's actually a decent ball striker, but like he just lacks discipline. Like he goes through games where he just misses a ton of balls.
Yeah.
And
And he's
like
not that good of an athlete, right?
no, but neither is Zapata, right? And like
Yeah.
if any ball was kind of out of their strike zone or something, it would be tough for them to turn defense into offense and like
Yeah.
turn the point around. And I think Zapata just won that match because he's just a superior mover
Yeah.
on the surface. And there was one game in the third set. It was like a 12-minute game that just swung the match back in his favor. But that was it. It was just like, and both, it was a huge match for both guys. I think both guys were really nervous. So, yeah, I mean, but he has no chance against Tsitsipas. Like, even if Tsitsipas plays like 50%, like, he's just got nothing to really hurt him, you know? But yeah, so that's that.
So I guess I guess we can move to Zhang now. Did you play on Zhang Nori or not?
I had Nori -4. I saw the line went from 5 to 4.5, then to 4, and I thought 4.5 was the right line. And I was like, okay, I would hit that at 4. And I got that at like -130 right before the match started. So I hit it. And it didn't pan out. It was painful. It was a painful loss.
Did you watch the match? Was it more Nori being bad or
well, I was watching more of Baez Tsitsipas because that was going on at the same time. But Nori won the first set 6-2, and I'm like, I got this. And then I was focused on the Baez match, and then I checked the score, and he lost the second 7-6. And then I watched the third set. I'm like, I still got this. All I need is 6-4, 7-5, anything. And Nori just couldn't break serve, and it went to a tiebreak, and Zhang won it. So I didn't even push. I couldn't even push.
Yeah,
it was just brutal. It was brutal. But Nori just doesn't look good. Like, he's just missing easy rally balls. Like, just looks like a shell of himself, to be honest.
Yeah, so like good for Zhang on getting to this match, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like, this feels like more of a draw. Like, the draw just felt perfectly for him. Rodionov, Shapo, and Nori.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought he would have won this match. Like, Shapo, okay, because like you're relying on Shapo misses.
Yeah. I never would have thought so either. I thought Nori would get through this for sure. Yeah. In fact, I almost played the Nori money line like -500, and I was like, it's a little extreme. Like, why would I do that? Like, not only that, but like, no, because like Nori, the problem is Nori's been so bad. I can't trust him to beat. Like, not so bad, but Nori's struggled, and like, I thought Nori's like superior mental edge would get him through.
Yeah, me too.
But at -500, I don't love betting mental gap. Like, so
yeah, but Zhang saved 5 break points in the second and third set.
Did he break Nori at all?
He did not. He didn't even have a break point.
The entire match?
The entire match.
Wow.
Yeah. But that being said, he won 7 more points than Nori.
That's weird.
It's very weird.
That's a very weird phenomenon to not have break point. That's incredible, actually. Yeah. To not have break point, be broken twice, and somehow win 7 points. Now, granted, he did rack up points in the tie breaks, but wow, that's fascinating. Like,
he won the tie breaks 2-2, so that's 5 more points there, I guess. But still, it's weird.
Well, I mean, so Nori only won 6 points on return in the second set.
Yeah.
So Nori must won all his points in one game then, or something, because Zhang saved 5 break points, and Nori only won 6 points on return in the set.
I wasn't really watching the match closely.
I mean, well, that's the only explanation statistically, right? Like, how do you get 5 break points?
I know.
Unless you only won points in one return game. So that's weird. And then the third set, Nori won 4 points on return. That's pathetic for Cam Nori to win 4 points in return in a tiebreak set. 6 games was a tiebreak, and you win 4 points on return. And Zhang wasn't much better either. 7 for Zhang.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a
that's
quick
atrocious.
third set, and it just went to the tiebreak. But like, Nori is just mistiming so many balls. Like I was just like kind of watching, like he's either late to it or shanking or like just it's just weird. Like I don't know. Like he can't even implement tactics and discipline into his game because like he's just missing.
Are the scores ridiculous here? Somehow Zhang only had 3 unforced errors in the entire match, which seems impossible.
Yeah, that's not possible.
3
what was it?
3 unforced errors for Zhang in the entire match.
That's not possible.
3
unforced
errors, like 10, and played like one of the worst matches.
3 unforced errors in a single game is more likely.
Yeah. I mean, look. Like I said, I think the score is being friendly because, like, Shapo had like 15 in that match. But he was just like just drilling balls into the net for no reason every second ball. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, this is good for our Fritz futures, because like, even though Nori's form is terrible, like, if he gets through, it's still like, you don't know. Maybe Nori will wake up on the right side of the bed and start playing really well. He has top 20 potential, right? So
yeah, I mean, look, in this quarter, I mean, I guess, I get that's good for the Fritz futures. The third quarter we covered, I mean, I guess the only match we didn't, so I guess just rolling at the bottom half, Medvedev beat Shevchenko 7-5 in the third. Shevchenko played a great match, apparently.
He did.
I saw the end of it. Shevchenko was still playing pretty well. I mean, despite cramping, Shevchenko was actually still playing pretty well and competing pretty tough.
He was. I mean, I thought that was the match of the day. That was really good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, look, give credit to Medvedev.
Yeah, the betting was painful in that match because I bet Shevchenko plus 4.5, and all I needed was him to tiebreak. You bet.
Yeah, I had the 5, so I got to push.
They said it perfectly. I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah.
But and if he got like another game in the second set, I wouldn't have to worry. But I actually hit Shevchenko money line there too, because I don't know. Shevchenko won that Madrid Challenger, and he's been impressive. Yeah. So
no, Shevchenko's playing decent.
He is.
Medvedev was still the better player in the match, though.
Yes.
Well,
as soon as Medvedev started like digging in rallies and not kind of actually like backing off and being less aggressive, he actually played a lot better.
Yeah.
Because
that a lot of times is the case for Medvedev. Like because his defense is so good, right? Like he can just annoy a guy to death.
Yeah.
Like that backhanded deuce was just like the epitome of Medvedev.
Oh, the one where he started bowing to the crowd?
Yeah.
The celebration was pinpoint as well.
Medvedev is just like pinpoint. He's just hilarious. Like he's just such a weird, unique dude.
He is. He really is.
More pain in my betting. I had.
I think we should after a good pod, we should do one of those bows.
Well, we missed it because last pod was probably our best pod ever, and we didn't.
Okay, all right, we missed the opportunity.
But maybe this one will have a good pod. It's just, I think it's going pretty well so far. Transitioning now to the guy who'll play in the round of 16, Karatsev. I had a bet. I had the under on this Karatsev Demonor match.
I had the money line, the Karatsev money line, and that.
So Karatsev won 5 return points in the third set.
Wow, and 4 of them were probably in one game.
Yeah,
that's
like. And Demonor, I think, won like 13 or 14. Like Demonor was like getting opportunities and just couldn't take advantage, or getting into games and just couldn't take advantage. Unfortunate match for Demonor to lose. Like this type of match he can win, right? This is like how he accumulates points.
Yeah.
I mean, just.
Well, the thing is that match is in Karatsev's hands, right? Especially.
Yeah, but so is every match. So are most matches that the Demonor plays. Or in the opponent's hands.
Yeah, I guess. But Karatsev is like he's like a grip and rip player.
I get what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. You make a point, like even more so than the standard player. You make a fair point.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you're making a fair point there.
Yeah.
But
Which
yeah,
is
I mean,
why I like the money line play.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this is one where you got pretty lucky, to be honest.
Yeah. But like, even
But
if he lost that third set, I wouldn't regret the bet. Like I don't think it was a bad bet.
yeah, I mean, I guess my point is, I think the book had it right here. Like, even though the plus money line won, I think the book got it right.
Okay.
And this was just a situation where, like, like, it was a pretty even match through 2 sets. And then it was just a weird thing where, like I said, Karatsev somehow won the, like, he got a bunch of, he played one decent return game in the third and leveraged that into winning, I mean, this is insane. Like, Karatsev won 5 points out of 22 on return in the third set. de Minaur won 15 out of 40. And so de Minaur won 15 points on return and found a way to lose without getting broken. 15 points in 5 games he won on return.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
Found a way to not be able to break. Like,
that is nuts.
He just couldn't win. Like, it's unreal. So,
and what about points for the match?
What?
50-50. Karatsev won 1 more point, so I guess it's.
Well, I think Karatsev served more points though.
Right. He also served.
Karatsev served 95 of the 171 points. So that's how, like, that's why I'm saying de Minaur was the better player. Like, obviously, when you're serving, you should win the majority of the points.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then Struff against Lajovic. So this match I got right, actually. I put a small unit play on the Struff money line. Just because I thought it was a 50-50 match and you're getting it at plus money. And like at some point, I guess the fatigue was gonna come, hit Lajovic. Also, like, I was listening to the Bet Rivers podcast and they were strong on the Struff money line and they got it right. So I tailed them on that.
Yeah.
And I did the over 22.5, which hit as well. So I think that match had 3 sets written all over it. I should have probably done the 3-set line, but I was worried of like 2 long sets there.
Struff plays enough long sets. I don't think it's a bad thing to hit over 22.5 with him.
Yeah. At first I thought it was a stay away, but then I was like, the fact that Lajovic is kind of like, it's gonna run out at some point, So
I got incredibly lucky here because I hit Lajovic over 12.5 was my play here.
You got very lucky.
And I got very lucky.
Yeah.
Flashy, it was more like he almost fell apart. So once he won the first set 7-6, I was like, good in the bag. And then it was like 4, and it was 3-all in the second. I was like, oh yeah, just keep going, it's going great. And then all of a sudden it fell right off.
And you barely got there.
And we ended up getting to 13. But so kind of interesting there. I think surprise match of the tournament for me then was Pedro Cachin beating Tiafoe. I was 100% wrong on this. I mean, and I guess it makes sense because, like, we thought it was Cachin minus. We thought it was Cachin minus, or we thought it was Tiafoe like a 5-game spread was the right spread, but we did understand. At least we understood why the market put it at 3.5, right? Because they priced in the Cachin success at the Madrid Challenger.
And I don't think we weighed that enough, right?
Maybe we didn't weight it enough. I also think maybe this is just Tiafoe playing terrible.
That's
like, I didn't watch the match, but like, I just don't see a world in which Tiafoe should lose a set 6-1 to Pedro Cachin.
He lost the first 12 points of the match.
Yeah.
So, terrible.
And it's not like it's the first match of the tournament where he's getting adjusted. Like, he had just beaten Etch.
I just think, like, with Tiafoe, we got to cross off that Houston win. And, like, he's actually not good on clay. Like, I think that's how we have to bet him. Like,
I don't disagree, but this is altitude clay, and that's why I played a little differently, right? Because this is like a faster clay, like the surf plays up.
I played it that way too, but like my takeaway, because like if you watch him on hard court, for example, if you watch him run for a drop shot, he doesn't slide. He actually does those like quick steps. It's kind of, but like he doesn't slide like a Djokovic or an Alcaraz into a drop shot. So it just that play alone just kind of tells me he's not that comfortable on the surface. He's just a better athlete than most, which is why he wins, right? But like, I don't think he's comfortable with the movement and the timing and all that.
I don't disagree with any of that. I still thought I mean, okay, maybe we were wrong to think it was a 5-game line, but like, does Tiafoe really lose this match the majority of the time? I don't think so.
He should have. Yeah, he should.
Like, he should be able to beat Khachanov on any surface.
I agree.
So that's the bottom half of the draw. That was the matches today. Moving into yesterday, I guess we can start with Alcaraz playing a ridiculously fun match to watch versus Dimitrov.
So much fun, man. That was awesome.
I mean, Dimitrov, to his credit, actually did show up and compete.
Played really well, Dimitrov.
Yeah, I thought he played well. I don't think he played like I don't think he played like
he didn't play
better.
He played well in a lot of moments, but the reason why he didn't play really well is because like there were like 2 or 3 games where he just gave it away. And you just
so I thought, because did he get the first break in the second? He did, right?
He did. He was up.
He went up the break in the second to go.
The thing is, then Alcaraz broke straight back at love.
And Dimitrov basically handed him the break back.
Exactly. Yeah. And then at 6-5, he basically
5-all. It was 5-all.
5-all.
Yeah. Whatever game.
Like he played 3 games in the match where he just handed breaks to him.
Yeah.
The first game of the match and then those 2. And you just can't do that. But in between that, he actually played really, really well.
Yeah. And Alcaraz was Alcaraz. Like,
this guy is just, he's a human highlight reel. It's insane. Like some of the stuff he comes up with.
And I think there's an element of that like makes him like not only like, and the same thing kind of happened with Nadal, but I think it's actually worse to get with Alcaraz, where he just like is even more intimidating. Because like against Nadal, like young Nadal didn't hit that big, didn't blast the ball, so you felt like, okay, like I can at least out hit him. Like when Alcaraz is playing his highlight reel tennis defensively, like what do you do?
Yeah, because he has the ability to turn it around and then hit
and play offense also. So it's not like you can just like, it's not like you can just like there's just nowhere to go.
And then if you can't drop shot or bring him in because he's just as competent at net as well. Like it's impossible. Like
and he has the drop shot. Like he has. I mean, yeah. There's again, like there's still things for him to improve on, right? The serve, the tactics. We've talked about it before, but like, man, when it's clicking, like it's just scary.
To be this complete at 19 is just a joke.
From a physical standpoint, yeah. I mean, like I said, the only thing he's missing is serve accuracy.
Yeah, and it's getting more accurate. Like especially on clay, he has a really good kick serve, and his second serve is actually pretty good. I think his first serve accuracy is what needs work, so he can win some more free points. But I think his second serve is actually quite good.
He still double faults more than I'd like.
Yeah,
it feels like. I mean, I don't know what his stats are on double faulting, but it still feels like he double faults quite a bit.
But it doesn't feel like technically his serve seems pretty good, and then like he doesn't have like the serving yips that Djokovic had back in like 2009. It's not like that bad. It's
yeah. And I mean, I guess he just went the whole Dimitrov match without doubling, right? So like, it's not like he's doubling like all the time.
Yeah.
It just seems to be like, but it does seem to creep in occasionally, especially in like, and like there's no way to like quantify this, but like in big moments at big times, it seems to creep in still a little bit, the double faults occasionally. Yeah, like I think like he's I do think there's some work there mentally. Like, but we're really nitpicking. And actually, now that I look at it, he's only double faulting like 3% of his points. So it really isn't that bad.
It's not that bad.
1 out of 30. It's not that bad. It's pretty average.
I think Felix has a way bigger issue with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's not.
I agree.
It's not a problem. And then his return game is good. I mean, it's fine. I don't think he hits like the kind of returns that Djokovic hits, right? But like once he's in the point, he's so intimidating.
Yeah, you're right. There's really not. I mean, yeah, it's yeah.
And his discipline is fine. I think. I mean, I think like against Ruusuvuori, he was just like not sharp, right? But like once you get it back, it's
no. And I think that's the one thing is like the one thing is maybe tactics and like adjustments and like adjusting in a match, depending on how you're playing like that. That might be the one thing left, or not the one thing, like tactics and the serve, serve accuracy on the first serve specifically. But it's pretty damn good, man.
It is. It is. I mean, that being said, he has by far the toughest quarter. That quarter.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
so Zverev ripped up Hugo Gaston. I didn't have a play here.
Or Hugo Grenier.
Oh, sorry, not no. Is it Hugo Grenier?
Grenier, yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Hugo G. They can do seven
G.
It wouldn't matter. Just any Hugo G can play.
I mean, they play a little bit differently, but like the result would have been exactly the same for either guy. So I guess it's Hugo G.
Did you have a play on that match? Did you play Hugo G?
I played Hugo G plus 5.5. Don't talk about it.
All right, we'll move on. How many points did Hugo G win? I haven't even looked at the stats yet for this. Wow, this is hilarious. Guess how many return points Hugo G won in the match?
Probably like 2.
No, 5.
5?
But he won 1 return point in the first set.
He was just so overmatched. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And this is like Zverev, like, who is not that good. I know you think he's slightly better, but this is not like.
I mean, this certainly isn't top 10 Zverev. I think we're not that far off from our valuation as Zverev. You just continually say he's bad, and I continually ask you how bad he is, and then you tell me he's actually okay.
Well, I can't wait to see what you're betting for the Alcaraz-Zverev match tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
But yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So points won was 55-22.
Wow, that's
never see that in men's tennis.
That's insane.
Never.
Insane. Yeah.
Especially in a match where, and what's even funnier about that is Hugo G, he won 30% of the points despite serving over 60% of the points.
That's crazy.
Like, it's just incredible. This is one of the biggest beatdowns I've ever seen. Like, this is a beatdown.
Yeah, it might be worse than the Khachanov Nishioka first 2 sets.
I think it is, because at least Nishioka, like, I remember watching that, and like, you felt bad for Nishioka not winning a game, because it felt like he was trying to hang in there and like could maybe win a game. This, like, I'm amazed that Hugo won a game. Hugo G was not a G. It should be like Hugo F. That's the grade you get for that performance. Like, that's just embarrassing.
Yeah, it was. It's terrible. It made me like very defeated, like that I bet the Grenier plus 5.5. Like, just the fact that I bet that, I feel like I should pay the book double because I lost that so bad.
Points betting.
Huh?
Points betting.
Points betting, exactly. I should have done, like, the book actually deserves like an extra payment for that bet. It was so bad.
Well, so I felt dumb because I actually had Zverev minus 5.5. And then I was like, no, you know what? Zverev's really not that good. Can he cover 5.5 against anybody? Like, yeah, maybe he probably can because Hugo's not good, but like, I'm just gonna wimp out and cash out. But
okay. Yeah, too bad.
Plus, like, I was like, oh, he lost a set to Baena, and like, he not only did he lose 1 set to Baena, he almost lost 2 sets to Baena. Like 5.5 is hard to cover.
It's a lot. You need 3 and 3, and that's not easy.
Well, 1 and 0 is better than 3 and 3. But so I guess continuing on with that quarter, Khachanov beat RBA. I didn't see this match because it was so early in the morning on Sunday morning. Beat him in 3 sets, but solid win for. I had the RBA money line. I think you tailed me.
Yeah, I did too. I talked you into that.
You talked me into this.
Yeah,
I don't regret it. I don't know.
Well, if you look at Khachanov and RBA, like their history, I think they've played like 6 or 7 times. Like every match has gone 3 sets. So it's
a pretty even match. Yeah, I mean, look, it's and this match went 3. Like RBA did take a set. I think the books hit this pretty clean. RBA is just really down. Like, that's just the bottom line with RBA is like, if you look at his
Khachanov is a guy that like he can beat RBA, right? Because RBA doesn't really do anything different, right? It's
He
just
does. He actually is a decent attacker, but he's not like he's more like a sneaky attack. I feel like he's more like a sneaky, like good location attacker. And honestly, like he hasn't even been good at that in like a year. Like
he's
RBH
one
is good at
dimensional. Like his game is solely based on like running around forehands, kind of placing them in awkward spots, right, and making progression in rallies with that ball, right? That's all he does. And like if Khachanov can, like the way I view Khachanov is if he can pinpoint one thing that the opponent does, he can find a way to counteract that and attack that. When he struggles is when like guys he plays can do multiple things to win points. That's when Khachanov struggles.
I also think he struggles against like he struggles against anybody who he can't just hit off the court, right? Like with his ground strokes, because his ground strokes are really good. Like really, his ground strokes are the only great thing about his game.
Yeah.
And if he can't hit people off the court with his ground strokes, like there's really nothing. Like his net game is terrible. Mm-hmm. His serve is, I guess, okay, but like not great.
Okay. It's pretty good.
But it's not. I don't think it's great for his height. Like it's. I put it like. Okay, I put it like average.
Yeah, and his serve plus one is not that great either because he can't come in. So
right. Return game, he hits some good returns sometimes. Like he's a little bit like, but he's a little inconsistent there, I feel like.
Yeah. I actually think his biggest strength is kind of similar to Rublev's in a way where it's just he never gives in physically. He'll always fight until the last ball. Right.
Physical and mental toughness. Like he's just a tough dude.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what gets him to where he is. It's nothing about his game. So yeah, I mean, good win for him, but it could have gone either way. It was a tight 3-setter.
Yeah, so. I think it was one break in each set, right?
There was a tie break in there, I think.
No, there wasn't. It was 7-5. I thought there was too, because I actually one of my bets here was a tie break in this set.
Yeah.
Or in this match that I lost, which was kind of sad.
It was 7-5, 4-6, 6-3. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my two bets here were the RBA money line and then a tiebreak in this match. So I was sad on both ends because got kind of close to a tiebreak in the first set at 7-5.
Yeah.
And that was like plus 140.
Yeah, it's a good bet. Good bet.
Yeah. Rublev beat Yoshi. I didn't have anything on that match.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I parlayed. I lost the parlay because I parlayed that with Hubie money line at -200.
I bet the Hubie money line as well. I had it in parlays. So sad.
Yeah, it was very sad. I mean, I bet the Rublev -1.5 sets and then parlayed it with Hubie money line, but it just sucked. I mean, I guess
we can transition now to the most fun quarter of this tournament because this quarter's been a lot of fun.
It has.
Hubie did not survive or push forward. Coric pushed him out of the tournament.
Yeah. He died and he fell backwards.
Yeah. But and he fell all the way to Rome.
Yeah.
But
Coric pushed him to Rome.
So did you see is it true that Hubie was at the Met Gala? Is the Met Gala this week? I thought there was a lot of hype over the Met Gala being this week.
In New York, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
I thought I saw a picture of Hubie there. Like the question was Hubie getting out of Madrid to go hit up the Met Gala?
I don't think so. Are you confusing Hubie with Federer? I know Hubie beat Federer in his last competitive match, but well, now I'm curious. I don't think so.
I could have sworn I saw something on Twitter but it could have been some sort of like fake goofball thing. I could have fell for some joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Coric looked fine, I guess. Looked a little better. But the thing is, I don't take that much out of Coric's performance because, like, it doesn't matter who Hubie plays. We've said this over and over again. It's going over 22.5. There's going to be a tie break. You know, it's like he can't break anyone's serve. It's just it's an enigma. It's really weird.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Like if
Yeah,
you
well, I mean, so I think that's the overall problem with QB, right? Is like he's really battle tested, but yeah, he can't like. So the best bet in this match, which I actually did hit, and I was really happy with myself because it was just so. And I stole it from Bet Rivers because they do have a really good pod.
well, they've had a really good tournament too. They've been
They
really
have
spot on their bets this week.
a tie break here was plus 105,
Yeah, that's really good. You have to
which is insane. Like it should have been like minus 200. Like Hubie plays a tie. Hubie's played a tie break in like 20 out of 26 matches or something insane this year.
crazy. It's crazy.
Like he just can't like like which is
Yeah.
part of the problem, right? Is because like every match he plays is gonna have close sets. And even this one, like the difference here was Coric broke him once and Huey went 0-3 on break point. And that was the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, when Coric served for the match, he had 40 love, and Hubie got him back to break point. And then Coric
Yeah, I mean Hubie,
winning.
like Hubie's tough. I love Hubie, man. Like as a player, it's
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a good bet with Hubie is like over 1.5 tie breaks.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just bet that for every Hubie match. You know, and even more so like when the grass season starts, you're probably even gonna get good odds on that. But like, it's definitely
no, but just bet overs and long set because like
yeah.
the book bumps it up, but like even still, I don't even know if you care. Like he just plays so many tie breaks.
Yeah, like 1.5 tie breaks on a clay event is usually like plus 800, plus 850. For this match, which is why I didn't hit it. I mean, it didn't hit anyway, but like it was plus 450. I checked it last minute, and I was like, no, that's a little bit too much, but still, it's a good play if it like
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we'll see. And then Altmaier, I had Hanfman -3 against Altmaier.
I just stayed away from this match.
Anyway,
but this match is funny because like so I was thinking about this, and I guess this is the wrong match to talk about it for, but actually it's not. So like if they had the old draws, like
yeah,
this wouldn't even be a match. Because like the only way Hanfman or Altmaier would get in to this tournament
it's by qualifying.
No, it's by buying a ticket. Like rank 90 might not even get you into qualifying. There's only 7 qualifiers. There's only like 28 guys in the qualifying. It's probably borderline. You might get into quality. You probably get into quality because some guys would probably skip or play challenger. So you'd probably get into quality. But like there's a chance you'd have to just buy a ticket to get in. I mean, right? Like there's other German players. Like they get a racket from somebody and go like play on the practice courts.
Yeah, and instead he's in the round of 16.
Well, that's the crazy thing, right? And the round of 16 is against another guy who, if this is the old way, would be in the qualifying in Munar.
Right. Well, he'd probably get a wild card here.
Yeah, right. He would get a wild card here in Madrid. But yeah, who
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, without a wild card, Munar is ranked 88th right now. Without a wild card, he might not even be like he might not even be in the qualies. Like this I mean, it's incredible. Like you've got a round of 16 match at a Masters that's like a guy ranked 104 versus a guy ranked 88.
It's crazy. I mean, there have been a lot of upsets here just in general.
But upsets of vulnerable guys. Right? Like if you look, like Alcaraz is still in it.
Yeah, imagine if he went out to Ruusuvuori.
Well, then it would be insane. So then like that would be a real upset in my mind. But like, Alcaraz is still in it. Like if you look at the seeds that are out, Dimitrov's out. He went out to Alcaraz fine. Korda was vulnerable, right? So it's not surprising that he got upset by Grunier. I mean, it's surprising, but it's not shocking. Rude lost to Arnaldi, but like that Rude's been not great.
Rude's been bad.
Well, that's not surprising. Griekspoor got retired. That's not that surprising. Musetti losing to Hanfman's not that surprising, right? Like, Huey losing to Coric isn't that surprising. I mean, it's surprising, but not that surprising. Rune ADF, we'll talk about that. That was a great match. That's just a bad draw for Rune. FAA was first match on clay this year. That's not surprising. He was vulnerable there for sure against Lajovic. I mean, the line there was like minus 130 plus 120 or minus 140 plus 120.
Yeah.
Like, so like all these guys that went out, like, I mean, maybe the most surprising guy, honestly, is Tiafoe going out against Kachin. Is the only one that, like, to me is that surprising. Like, other than that, these guys are all like, and you're right, like Tiafoe's not even that good on clay. So that's kind of just like a bad draw too. But like, it's just a combination of like bad draws. Or I guess Nori going out. Nori going out is a stunner.
Yeah,
That's the stunning one. Is Nori going out? Is Nori going out against Zhang? But other than that,
think
like,
that there are very few guys, even ranked high, that are really playing that well right now. Like it's really only Alcaraz. And without like Djokovic or Sinner here, or
no, but like
really
guys
slim
like
pickings.
no, but the second tier, Fritz, Rublev,
Rublev is actually kind of getting closer to that first tier right now. I actually think
he is
well.
But Fritz, Rublev, Rune, throw Khachanov in there, Tsitsipas,
Okay.
like even on clay, like yeah, they're all vulnerable. They're a little more vulnerable, but they're not losing to guys outside the top 50. Yeah. Whereas but to your point, some of these guys like Rude is dropping matches to guys outside the top 50 all over the place.
Yeah,
FAA
too.
FAA outside the top 50, no problem. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, like there's some guys.
And Tsitsipas is going 3 sets against the likes of Thiem and Baez. Like that's not good going into the French.
Oh, he's not playing well, but my point is like Tsitsipas is still like grinding his way through. Kyle lost to Jordan Thompson.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I guess this French Open is actually, or like this clay season is like a big opportunity for guys, because like no Nadal really. Well, he might show up in Rome, but we don't know that.
And if he does, what Nadal is it going to be?
That's true. Well, that's
it's going to be at best. It's going to be a rusty Nadal,
right?
At best,
right.
And that's if it's a healthy Nadal.
Yeah. So okay, and then we have Alcaraz, and then Djokovic is not healthy either. So it's like
at the tippy top. Yeah, you're right. The tippy top right now, it's just Alcaraz.
It's crazy.
There's no direct challenger right now.
There is none. Maybe Sinner on a great day, but like they're gonna.
I don't know on clay. Like he's not a terrible clay court player, but I don't think clay is his. Is a good.
He beat him in Umag, but I think that was a below par Alcaraz. Like so.
But Sinner does play Alcaraz really well.
He does.
And we'll talk about that in about probably 15 minutes once we start talking about round 4 matches. Like, because I think that'll be an interesting discussion. So the last guy here, the last match, I mean, I saved this one for last because this was the match of the third round.
This is a match of the tournament.
Fokina Rune. What a match, man. Honestly, like awesome. Not a ton of takeaways. So, I mean, not a ton of takeaways, but it was a really fun match.
Fokina, we hit our bets, right? What did we hit? Rune over 12.5?
I hit Rune over 12.5.
I hit that.
Which got there easily because it was such a good match.
We hit
that. I live bet the over 9.5 games in the third set, and that got there. I also live bet Fokina 6-4 at 14-1, which didn't get there. But I mean, like, what are we complaining about? It was 14-1. Like,
I know. Well, I was thinking this has tiebreak written all over it, but like you didn't get that great odds. And then you had to pick
350 or something, right? It wasn't great.
It was 350, and then if you picked ADF to win in a tiebreak, I think it was like plus 1,000, which the 6-4 was
1,400. I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was like 800 or something, or maybe it was like 8 to 1, 9 to 1, something. It wasn't that.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but I mean, what you thought about ADF is exactly what happened. I was laughing so hard during the match because it's like every time ADF would break, you would text me and be like, "Oh, he's going to get broken back," and that's exactly what happened. It happened on like 4 different occasions. It was insane.
I think there were 3 times in the match that one guy broke and was not able to consolidate, which is incredible. Like 3 of the 4 breaks. So of the 7 total breaks in the match, 6 of them were back-to-backs, I think.
Yeah.
The only one that wasn't was Rune breaking and then holding to win the second set.
Right. But like it's funny,
like, yeah,
because Rune broke at the beginning of the third, right?
Yeah,
and you had the 6-4, and I was like, we both had the 6-4. I was like, shit. And then you text me, don't worry about it, it's fine. And then sure enough, he breaks to love or something, like right off the bat. It was crazy. It was
But that's Fokina, right? Like,
I
it's
know.
like, honestly, he's got to play all the time like he's a breakdown. Because
He
when
plays
he's
incredible.
behind, he plays like with such a clear, and it's mostly mental.
I know.
Like, when he's behind, he plays with such a clear head, and when he's ahead, he plays with such an unclear head.
And it's a shame because like he's actually an incredibly good athlete, a really good mover, a good ball striker on both wings. Like he has a really good game.
And he's disciplined. Like, he's not Shapo.
No, he's not. It's
He
just bad
sometimes makes some
tactics.
dumb shots, but he's not Shapo where he's just ripping balls like
No.
to who knows where, like the majority of the time. Like, he's disciplined, he battles.
But I actually
He
think he's one
just
of the better athletes on the tour. Like he's
he
top
is. I
10 in
mean,
terms of like athleticism.
he's one of the better athletes on the tour. He's a good ball striker. I don't think he's a really good ball striker. I don't know if he's in like
Yeah.
the Rublev center class,
Right.
but he's a
Yeah.
really good ball striker. He's one of the best athletes on the tour. Like, that's really an underrated part of his game.
Mm-hmm.
His mental like toughness is really under. Like, he's mentally tough as a battler. He gets tight, so he can't close a match,
He does
and
battle.
he like
Right.
goes AWOL once as soon as he gets a lead. But he is mentally tough in terms of battling. But he's just like the tactics forever have held him back, and the ability to close a match, which we saw. I mean, he got up 5-3, and I immediately texted you. I was like, Manny, this is not over at all. Like, this is the break back is guaranteed here. And it was just like that. And
Just
the
like
funny
that.
thing was, like tactically, I thought Fokina played really good tactically even for 70% of the match. I mean, he was even doing like advanced level tactical stuff, like hitting back behind Rune, going like the right place, but like choosing between cross court and down the line, and like making the right choice in like not easy to choose situations when like the down the line looks appetizing, but really the right play is cross court. He did that several times. But then as soon as he would get up a break, he would forget everything he learned tactically and just start going for like ridiculous winners and missing. Like,
it's true. It's
and
true.
not even
And
like
then
a discipline, but even just like bad tactics. He went like there were a couple balls he went up the line and just like it was like no, don't do that. Like,
I know. And then like a weird drop shot, like at when it's not there. Just weird. Yeah, I get it. And he gets super tight because like in the second set when he was getting closer to winning, that's when he just fell apart. And like Rune kind of, won that set 7-5, and and then like I think Fokina served for the match and it got broken and he started crying or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
He started
But
crying.
I told you he was gonna be okay because he only needed 5 minutes to recover. And like, give him credit because that honestly is the case.
Yeah.
Like, he goes into that mode, but he just needs 5 minutes to recover. It's honestly, it's like a small child. But he really is like a small child. Well,
I work in the pharmacy. I can get him some Adderall if he wants it.
I mean, that's what it seems like. Like, no, can't focus for a whole set. Like, can only get stuff done. He's like can only get stuff done when he absolutely needs to. But like mental, like short-term memory is like 5 minutes later he forgets what happened before and he's back to normal Fokina battler. Like, it's really, really amazing to watch. Like,
it makes him one of the most frustrating guys to bet, though. Oh, it's like it takes years off your life. It's really
so
bad.
it does, but I think the thing with him is like you just don't bet things like money lines. Because like,
I don't want to lay games with him either. Right?
No, you bet overs.
Just bet overs.
Over 12.5, man. He's like the ideal. He's the old ARV where he's like an over. Actually, the best thing for him really is when he's playing a really good guy to bet the over 12.5 on the guy he's playing.
Yeah. Because he's good enough athletically and he'll fight his way to 5 games and then choke. Yeah.
And then he'll realize it's 5-0 and be like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, what do I do? And then that's it. But like,
I know. Well, all right. Well, I mean, that was a extremely entertaining match to watch. I loved all 3 hours of that. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was one of the matches of the year, to be honest. Like, for drama. We do have to talk about the one thing we have to talk about that most hilarious match point ever. The match point that Fokina converted. The last point of the match.
Refresh my memory.
Fokina hit like one of the worst drop shots you'll ever see. It was like the second ball of the rally. And Fokina just hit that garbage drop shot. And then Rune came in and just like pushed the ball back to him.
Point. And he like fell into the net and then the backhand winner. Yeah.
Which here's my question. And Fokina didn't even hit that last winner that cleanly. Like he didn't almost miss it, but it was really, really weakly hit. Like he's lucky Rune was down because like and I said and I was saying like that's there are only two ways Fokina was gonna win that match. That or a double fault. Like that was it. Like because Rune was pretty tight too.
And what was the score in that tiebreak? It was 7-5. So.
Yeah, because the first match point Fokina blew. Fokina had match point at 6-4 and blew it. And then he hit that just awful. I mean, that drop shot was terrible. It was horrendous. Like that should put away 99 times out of 100. And not only did Rune not put it away, he like dinked it. And not only did he like dinked it right back to him.
Yeah.
I think he might have gotten it to the backhand, maybe, but I don't even remember. Like, but it was he just dinked it back.
Got to the backhand, but like left the whole court open
and just dinked it to him. He didn't even like no pace, no depth, just like it looked like one of our shots, to be honest.
Yeah, only that match could end that way. I mean, it was just crazy.
Well, so here's the question: Did Rune actually fall, or was he just pissed that he knew he was going to lose and just like decided to like take a dive into the net?
I think he slipped.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think he would play 3.5 hours and then try to slip on that ball. Like, I don't think so.
I mean, Rune still is kind of immature. Like, I guess that's the other thing too. That's not something that we can talk about with Rune. Is like, do we think it's because we're not going to? I mean, he's out of the tournament, so we're not going to talk about him for at least another week. He's had a lot of issues with the crowd. I don't think the way he deals with the crowd helps him.
I don't either. I mean,
like I think he'd be better off, and I think part of the reason why crowds get on his back is because they realize he'll react. Like if he just put his head down and just played, and then just there's ways you can get the ump to help you out with calming down the crowd, right? You just like wait, and at the changeover, just let the ump know that it's a problem.
Yeah, he like incites them, like he like
instead of like shushing them and inciting them and like getting them more angry, like. And I think it's distraction for him because then he whines that they're booing him. But like if you incite them, then like that's what's gonna happen.
Especially that Madrid crowd playing in a night session. It's that was like after midnight, right?
Yeah.
They
were slightly out of hand. They were slightly out of hand, but that's gonna happen in a crowd after midnight a little bit. And then if you're gonna incite them, it's gonna get a lot worse.
Oh yeah, I mean it's Carlos Bernardes was actually like playing kindergarten with him. Like he was.
Oh yeah, he was like Holger. Like if you shut up, like it'll get better for you. Like
don't do this here.
He just seems incredibly bratish.
Yeah, and then some of the stuff he does is like kind of like a little bit bush league, like it's like college tennis or like high school tennis behavior. Like what was the thing that he did because Fokina challenged it? And then he didn't think that the mark was accurate because like Rune wiped off the mark with his foot.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And like you don't do that. You don't like wipe off a mark with a foot before it's decided. Like that's just like childish nonsense, Like it's just professional tennis. Like, it's not a high school varsity tennis match, Or like a USTA team tennis.
And I think he actually got into an argument with Fokina over something during the match too. And I think it might have been that. Like he might have
something. There was a lot of beef. It was salty. I mean, that's part of the reason why it was very entertaining too.
It was.
So,
but like his attitude, and then calling himself a member of the Big Three because he's nowhere near the Big Three yet.
Nowhere near the Big Three. First of all, Medvedev is way closer to a Big Three than you are. And he doesn't even mention Medvedev in that sentence. He says, "Oh,
no, he doesn't." Well, the funniest part is he doesn't even mention Djokovic. It's him sitting on Alcaraz.
I think he's talking about like a
younger guy. I know, I get it, but it's just funny. Like it's funny,
But like Medvedev is there right now, and like you're far away. Probably Rublev is closer than you, actually. If we,
I would say as of I mean, how is Rublev doing better? Is it just because he doesn't have to face guys like Nadal and Djokovic right now, and like that helps him because he's getting to face more like guys who are like at his level?
I think, as you said, it's consistent intensity.
Actually, you know what? It's that, but Rublev's always had the consistent intensity. What it is that Rublev's actually done better is his tactics are getting better. He's playing more disciplined, making more balls in the court.
Yeah. And
ironically, ever since that third set versus Fritz at Monte Carlo, when he couldn't hit through the court and he had to dial it back because he couldn't hit because it was so bad. The court was even playing slow for Monte Carlo that day, and he couldn't hit through, so he had to dial it back to beat Fritz.
Yeah.
And he was able to do
that rain delay.
That's what I'm saying. It was that rain delay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And since he's just, he's playing like way, just really really well.
Yeah, really well. I mean, that top quarter is amazing because we got Rublev Khachanov, and then the winner of that would probably play Alcaraz.
Which I guess let's transition to that, right? Because there's 8 matches tomorrow. I don't know if there's much draw talk, but we're down to the round of 16, so the draw talk basically is.
I'm just looking at the quarter prices here. I'm shocked that Rublev is a lower, plus 600 as opposed to Zverev at plus 450, and Zverev is the one that's playing Alcaraz. That's shocking to me.
I guess I'll say 2 things here, and I don't like this Zverev price, but I'll say 2 things here. And we'll talk about more in 5 minutes. But Zverev, if there's a prototype of a guy who could beat Alcaraz, I think that Zverev is closer to that prototype than Rublev is. I just don't know how Rublev beats Alcaraz. And I think that's why he's sitting there at 6. I just think it's a worse matchup for him.
I don't disagree with you. I just think matchup wise, yes, but current form has something to do with that too.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I guess if I'm trying to explain why, it's that and then the success at Madrid, right? Like the fact that they did make a final last year.
But I'm just saying, is there value on the Rublev plus 600 to win that quarter?
I don't think so. Because when he plays Alcaraz, what is it, like plus 400?
Probably. And the way Alcaraz is playing, I think Rublev is going to go into one of those disappointing modes, like Djokovic at Australian Open.
Yeah.
Because he's going to come to the realization, what the hell do I do to win points? He can bomb 3 of his biggest forehands and the ball's going to come back at the baseline, So you're probably right.
I mean, there's no way catching it. The problem here is really it's almost like if you're crazy enough to do it, I think the play is probably Alcaraz at minus 275.
It's crazy. Considering that this is the toughest quarter.
Which is insane. But it's also yeah. Second quarter. I mean,
I like our ADF to make the final at plus 850. No, what was it? 8,500?
40. My futures is at 40.
40.
I don't know what yours is. Mine's at 40.
It's the same. I think Fokina to win the tournament, or Fokina to win the quarter before the tournament was 850.
850. Okay. That's what you have?
I have that too.
Okay.
And then Fokina to make the final is 40.
Yeah.
So if we get, in a way, the thing is, I also have Alcaraz versus Fritz in the final at 28-1. So
that's awesome.
So I want Alcaraz to win, but I also wanted to lose because then I think ADF has a better chance to make it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's weird. I don't the rooting interest is tricky here because I have Fokina to make the final. I got Fritz also to reach the final at 20-1.
Yeah, you and I both have that same one.
And then I have Fritz versus Alcaraz at 28-1.
Yeah.
So you don't have that one?
No, I should have hit it. I should have. Well, no, you know what? I preferred the Fritz at 20. And I kept the Fritz at 20. And then I have Alcaraz to win the tournament at minus 110.
Okay.
I have Fritz at 20. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just parlay the two and take the 28. It's kind of still.
I also have Alcaraz versus Tsitsipas at plus 850.
I don't hate that either. I think you're gonna hit
Yeah.
something.
And then Tsitsipas to win the tournament at the 10-1.
Are you feeling good about that right now or not?
No, I'm not feeling good about it. I just couldn't like when the second
Couldn't pass up
favorite
10 to
is
1.
plus 1,000.
I know it's kind of insane.
It's kind of insane. Like you got to take it, you know? Like even if you don't really believe in it, it's just such a good price.
Yeah.
You know, so all right, let's transition to tomorrow's matches. So we got 8 round of 16 matches.
Yep.
Let's see. Did you look at these lines?
I did. I mean, I have thoughts on these matches.
Okay. All right. So Munar versus Altmaier. My play. Who goes first?
You can go first on this one.
All right. My play here for the Munar Altmaier money line is minus 170. For Munar, it's a 2.5 game spread. The over-under is a standard 22.5. I like Munar over 12.5 here. That's my play at minus 120.
There's a couple matches I don't have plays on here. This is one of them.
Okay.
I don't think I think this is a really hard match to feel in any direction. There's just so many variables here, right? Like this is either, so to quote Manny Friedman, either guy could come out tight here. Either or both could come out tight. Like it's a weird spot for both of them. Like it's the biggest match of both their careers. And I think the line is damn right. Like if I had to set the line, I think I'd put it at Munar -2. What is the over under? What is the Munar 12.5? What is the over 12.5 for Munar?
Minus 120
or something.
First of all,
why you would do that.
Well, first of all, Munar plays a lot of tie breaks.
No, I know. Like I get why that makes sense. The problem is it's not out of the realm of possibility at all for Munar to get straight setted here. Like literally, is there any score here that would surprise you? Any scoreline here that would surprise you at all?
That's the scoreline that would surprise me. Altmaier straight setting him or not getting to if he straight sets him, it would be like 6-5.
But then Munar doesn't get to 12.
He doesn't get to 12, but I think that's unlikely because I think Munar is a slightly better player. But Altmaier is going to fight. Both guys are going to fight.
But they both could be tight. That rhymes. It's a good poem.
Right. But then I like the 12.5 because if it's 5-4 or something, a break back is actually likely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I just I could see
no one is going to blow anyone out in this match.
The problem is Munar is he's capable of playing some just awful matches. He lost to Arnaldi 3-4 in Barcelona.
I actually think the altitude does help him a little bit because he's kind of underpowered. Well, both of these guys are underpowered, so it gives their shots a little bit more bite.
Yeah, I know, but it's just if you look at Minar's scores, man, it's just it's all over the map. I mean, he got straight setted by Gastau Elias on clay in a challenger. Munar can play some terrible matches.
Yeah. I don't see that really being an issue though here, in Spain.
Arnaldi was in Spain.
Yeah, but Arnaldi's actually playing good tennis.
He is. That's fair. He actually is playing decent tennis. But I don't know, man. It's Munar's he's a maddening guy to bet. And I just don't know enough about Altmaier. And like I said, I think the book has this right. I think this is the right line. I think
to me this is
I think it actually should be what?
To me, this is the only line, the over 12.5 from Munar. It's the only line that makes sense.
What about Altmaier at the 12? Just because it's 12 and not 12.5.
I don't trust Altmaier as much because even though Munar is underpowered, I think Altmaier's even more underpowered.
Altmaier's also not. I don't think he's as good on clay as Munar.
Yeah.
What's the weather tomorrow in Madrid?
Question. Also, Munar has a 2-0 head-to-head, and both matches were on clay.
What were the
I think
scores?
that's relevant.
What were the scores and when were they?
Munar won at French Open first round, 22, 4 sets. And they played in Buenos Aires, and Munar won 3 and 4.
And they played back in 16 in the futures.
Yeah.
That's not relevant at this point.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, the scary thing is you look at those. I mean, you look at those sets, right? So the sets in Roland Garros were all 10 games or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't trust that Munar's going to just blow Altmaier out, but he's already done it once, and the Roland Garros match.
But I actually think Munar was playing better tennis at those points, in 22.
I think so too, but
and he's kind of on a trend where he's just playing a lot of tie breaks.
If you're gonna bet it, I think it's the only thing that makes sense. But I think this just makes more sense to stay away.
Stay away. Okay.
I just think that there's so many. I really just think there's so many potential outcomes here. Because then so we just said all that, but Altmaier's awful too. I mean, he did beat Hoffman, give him credit, and Hoffman's a good player on clay.
Hoffman was a little bit hurt. He called the trainer and he was tugging his back.
He was, but here's where I'm going with it. Here's his other way. So Altmaier was a lucky loser here. He beat Attila Balazs in round one. That guy's just collecting paychecks. He's 35. He's 35. He has 5 protected rankings left. He's just collecting paychecks. Lost to Rodionov. Got into the tournament with a lucky loser, so he didn't have to play in round one because he got a bye. I can't remember whose spot he took. He took Sinner's spot, I think, didn't he?
Spot, yeah, could be.
Yeah, so he didn't have to play round one. Gets round 2 and he gets to play Oat.
That's an amazing job.
Yeah. And then in round 3, he has to play, a slightly injured Hoffman, who's that's a decent win, but I mean, man, to make a round 4 of a Masters and the only even decent win you have to have is Altmaier.
But based on what you're saying, you think it makes sense to play Munar minus 2.5?
I mean, Munar can lose to anybody too, though. I think this line is perfect. I think this line is almost perfect. Okay. If I think you can make an argument for Munar. No, I mean, I thought if I was the book, I would set this line at Munar minus 2. I do want to check the Madrid weather.
It's good. It's warm. It's 85 degrees and sunny.
Yeah. Well, but this is in the morning, so it gets warmer later in Madrid. So at 11 a.m. it's only 6. At 10 a.m. it's 60 degrees, 63. By 1 p.m. it gets to 76. So it's gonna be it'll be
I mean, but there's shade on the court, it's an enclosed, it kind of the wind is never a factor here. I don't think. I think weather is kind of
it's pretty neutral conditions. It's pretty neutral. You're right.
Neutral conditions, yeah.
Which I think it leads me saying I think this line is just
perfect.
Anything you play here you have to lay juice.
Mm-hmm.
I think anything you play here you're giving the book juice.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to take creative angle, you could maybe get something plus money and lay an extra game. Just because I could see I'm not necessarily convinced that the books have this right either. There's some matches where I feel pretty good about what the books are saying. This isn't one of those matches. I could see anything happening here.
I see 6 and 4.
And you feel pretty good about that being you feel good about that?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay.
I think Munar is clearly the better player, but with him getting tight and playing tie breaks, I think it's over 12.5.
I just think Munar is capable of playing some awful matches. I mean, he's played 4 or 5 awful
I don't think
matches.
here. I think the crowd is going to drive him. I think he's been a little bit better recently.
A little bit.
So, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm going to hit that, but yeah, I don't hate it that you're Makes sense to stay away there too.
Yeah.
Khachanov, Rublev. Do we have some props here?
We do, but I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
Actually,
so you go
is
here. Let's see what you got in store.
I got Rublev minus 2.5 games.
That's exactly what I have.
I think he's just better than Khachanov. He's playing so much better. I actually don't understand. I'm a little scared here because I don't understand why this is only 2.5. The only thing that makes me feel good actually about this is that it seems like people think that this is the right line. Because I think this line is way off. I think this should be like 4. Like Rublev, Khachanov, you brought it up. Like Khachanov has not been good here in the past. I'm not really impressed with beating a weak, I mean, RBA is playing a little better now, but I'm not really impressed with beating RBA in 3 sets. I'm not really impressed with beating Thiago Monteiro in 3 sets. And
Rublev is a huge step up.
And Khachanov is terrible against top 10 guys.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. He's terrible.
So my point is he's been bad in Madrid historically for his career, Khachanov. So
and they played in Monte Carlo 2 weeks ago at sea level where conditions would actually favor Khachanov more, and he got beaten down there too. It was like 6-2.
First set was pretty decent, and then
you're right. Yeah, but Rublev still covered.
Yeah, Rublev still covered, and even if he loses the first set, Rublev probably still covers. So yeah, I just don't. I really don't like. I'd be a lot more scared if this was being hammered. If the market had done more, I'm surprised the market's let this sit, but the market's really let this sit this 2.5 for a whole day now.
I just think that in that Madrid match or in that Monte Carlo match 2 weeks ago, the line was a pick'em. So I think to go from pick'em to 4 in the span of 3 weeks,
for the book
it's just too much for the book to go. So I think that's why it's 2.5.
Makes sense.
But yeah. So I'm hitting exactly
I think Rublev over 12.5 is kind of interesting. What is the Rublev over 12.5 line? Oh, it's not even offered anymore.
It's 13.
Wow. Yeah, there's nothing there to play. Rublev in under 22.5 is kind of interesting at plus 175.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. I like that.
I might play both because I think that's an interesting play. The only problem here is with faster conditions comes more holds of serve.
Right.
So it might be tougher to cover that. Whereas 2.5 is 1 break, maybe 2. So I think
6 and 4 cut gets it. So
I'm saying it's 1 break, maybe 2, right?
The under is dangerous here. The under is just a dangerous play.
Yeah.
It's warm, sunny. It's a day match. Yeah. So yeah. All right, I think that's the play.
I think the play is catching up. Rublev minus 2.5.
2.5, yeah. All right, Karatsev, Medvedev. I'll go here. I'm laying games with Medvedev minus 4.
I'm matching you on this. This kind of sucks. Because I thought we were gonna have some different plays, but no.
Well, we didn't talk about these matches.
We're gonna have some different stuff to debate. No, yeah. I have the same. I'm chalking with you here too. I don't understand why this is only 4 at all. This makes no sense. I've seen somewhere I want to see something with Medvedev.
I was expecting 5 here.
Yeah, I thought there should have been at least 5. I thought 4.5 to 5. Because I don't think is there really? I think Shevchenko might be better than Karatsev actually.
I would say so, and I know Karatsev has been better, but I actually think this is a horrible matchup for Karatsev.
Yeah,
Karatsev is going to be trying to blast ball. He's gonna be forced into so many errors, and I think Shevchenko is a better mover actually.
Yeah, and so here's an interesting Medvedev stat, right? So since 19, when he broke into the top 10,
yeah,
Medvedev is 12 and 3 against Russians. And I think there's a narrative here because like those Russian guys are all pretty good friends and they all practice together quite a bit. And like if Medvedev knows your game, he's like Medvedev's one of the better tactical players on tour. I think he's certainly a better tactical player than Karatsev. So knowing his game, I think is a huge advantage to Medvedev.
Well, how has he done? So what were his losses? Rublev in Cincinnati, I remember.
So Rublev at the tour finals this past year.
Oh yeah, 7-6. But that was
Rublev in Cincinnati in 3 sets.
Mm-hmm.
Karatsev in Rome in 21. And that's it. Those are the 3. So I think that's the reason why you would take Karatsev. I mean, that's probably part of the thinking here is that like I think they're 1-1 against each other. The head-to-head is 1-1. Karatsev won in Rome and beat him 2-4. And Medvedev won in 3 in Mallorca on grass. But I don't think either of those are applicable to this court.
I would agree with that. And I also think Medvedev is like trying to embrace the clay slightly more this year. Like I think he's
trying to accept it. I don't know if he's really embracing it. I think he still is like, what is he like putting net pole? He's like, was the net pole? Where was that? Was the net pole Miami?
That's Monte Carlo.
Monaco. So yeah, I mean, he still is like, destroying courts, right? Like he still is,
At least he's bowing to the crowd now if he hits a good shot. Like he doesn't seem as pissed.
Yeah, no. In all reality, he is like, this is like playing better. He's not playing great.
Yeah.
He's playing better. Like, and again with Karatsev, right? Like, so yeah, he's got some wins, right? But if you look at these wins, right? So his little 5-match win streak, which we're all getting excited about, Brancaccio, fine, he beat up Bravo Brancaccio. That's not like that's a challenger player.
Yeah.
Beat Struff.
Okay.
That's a good win, but it's Struff who, can be a little.
You gotta throw away any Struff match because like Struff can lose to anyone, but he can also beat anyone. So you can just throw that away.
He did beat Jiri, but it was really close. Beat Bodic. And then he beat Demonor in a match where really Demonor was the better player. Like
Bodic, we're gonna fade him based on that Munich, what happened in Munich.
Right? Yeah, and that was Bodic's first match coming off that Munich debacle.
Yeah.
So like, there's really nothing like. It's hard, right? Because once you get to like 4 games versus 5 games versus 6 games, but like I think a push here is really possible at 4. But I like laying the 4.
I just don't see how Karatsev. Like, I just feel like Karatsev is going to be forced into so many errors if Medvedev is sharp.
Yeah. And even if he's not sharp, Medvedev can sleepwalk his way through a set and do what he did against Shevchenko and cover the 4.
Kind of, yeah. You could just D up,
Yeah.
So, I love the 4 here. I absolutely love it.
Like, I'd be a lot more scared at 4.5 or 5. I'd probably stay away. Yeah. But at 4, I really like this.
Me too.
This is like, this is
I did too. Well, we think alike there. So, Coric and Fokina. So my play here, I'm sure we're going to align here, is ADF over 12.5.
I got 2 plays here. I got that, and I've got Fokina minus 2.5 games.
I was thinking about doing that, but I'm like, it's a lot of pressure for Fokina. He's playing for a Masters 1000 quarterfinal in his home country. You don't think he's going to get tight? It's tough for me. It's so tough to lay games with Fokina. It's so stressful.
If it was 3.5, I could never do it. But I think at 2.5, I can do it against Coric.
I was like thinking about it. I was close to it, but I like the 2.5
because he can get tight and blow a set and still get there.
Does he win 6-1, 6-2 sets?
He doesn't even need it. I mean, he could win. He could do like a 6-4, 5-7, 6-3.
Yeah,
the chances of him holding to close the match are 0. But like in theory,
yeah. I mean, I don't mind it because I think like what we saw from Coric against QB is not really a representation of where his level's at. Like he's been pretty
No, and I think
bad.
Coric plays Hubie really tight historically, if I remember
Yeah, he
right.
does. He does.
Like, and Hubie's just such a different guy to play.
The line moved to 3.
Yeah, so I got it at 2.5.
You got it at 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah, Coric is 3-1 against Hubie all time, and like all three of Coric's wins are tight. So like he just plays Hubie. He just plays Hubie well. Kind of similar. Actually, I was looking up something with Coric. So this is kind of fascinating with Coric. So
they played in Indian Wells last year. Fokina won 6-7, 6-love, 7-5. Would you expect anything different?
No. I'd love to see. I want to see the match beats on that because I want to see how badly I want to see what happened in the 7-5. I guarantee you, Fokina's serve for the match and got broken at 5-4, 5-3. I guarantee it. Like, or he broke Coric at 5-3 or 5-4. Like it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
But no,
I can guarantee you that. So the score is Fokina's going to win the first set 7-6, and Fokina's going to have 5-4 serving for the match. He's going to have 40 love, and he's going to get broken, and you're going to lose your 2.5.
Yeah, I can guarantee that too. It's gonna be those painful logins. You're pain tomorrow. I'm just like,
I wish I could put money on that exact scenario happening at 100-1.
That's not nearly enough. Like you should get like 10,000 one for that exact scenario. But dude, I completely I hear you. Like that's why I'm taking the over 12.5. I think that's probably the best play here.
Yeah.
But man, like if ADF doesn't win this match, what a missed opportunity.
I know. Seriously. Plus
I've seen a lot of people backing Coric, and I don't really understand why.
I think it's a fade spot with Fokina after that tough match against Rune.
But it can only be it's only mental fatigue because Fokina's fit enough to get through this.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be amped up for it, so I think he'll be fine.
I mean, look, here's the thing, right? We're talking about Coric, who in tournaments, right? He now has 4 matches that he's actually won in tournaments this year. Rinderknecht in Montpellier.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good court format is Rinderknecht. Kokkinakis in Dubai, 7-5 in the third. Okay. Again, like Kokkinakis, not in Australia.
Yeah.
Gaston, and then Hubie.
Yeah, that's not a good year.
That's it. No. In the entire year, we're in May. In a third of a year, those are the 4 wins that Coric has.
Yeah, no, it's bad. I mean, he was a fake guy, and I thought that Hubie was gonna beat him. Like just so much more battle tested. I guess that's just a good matchup for Coric.
Yeah, I think yeah. And that's why I'm kind of discounting even that. So, like, given that, and like Fokina's not like Hubie at all.
No.
And he's not like Gaston at all either.
No, he's one that's going to put you under pressure, make you hit a lot of balls. Like, no, you're going to have to play good tennis to beat him.
But he's also like he's not going to just try to push forward though either in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like.
No, you're talking me closer to hitting the 2.5 or 3, but I'm still. I think
only issue. I mean, literally, but you've hit it on the head, Manny. The only issue is that he's guaranteed to get tight.
He is.
That's the only issue. But like, Coric has lost plenty of 6-2 and 6-3 sets this year. This could be 6-3, 7-6 or 6-2, 7-6.
It could.
Or like 6-3, 6-7, 7-5 or something. Like That's the thing I kind of like with the games here also is like, I don't think Fokina loses a blowout set here. Like if
No.
Fokina loses a set, it's going to be because he mentally blows it and gets tight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. If Coric wins the set, it's going to be 7-6.
In terms of fatigue, I saw people on Twitter playing the fatigue angle. In terms of the fatigue angle, I think it's only a potential mental fatigue issue.
Yeah, there's no physical ailment. He didn't really, maybe he called the trainer for like a thigh rub, but like that's about it. It wasn't like.
He said he was cramping, but like he was cramping 2 days ago. Am I really
he was he was just so nervous.
Could have been nervous cramps.
Yeah.
And again, like I'm gonna go with it's 2 days ago. And this is
had a day off. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
And this is Fokina, who's a fit guy.
Yeah.
Like if this was Holger Rune and he was coming off of no off days, we'd be talking a very different game.
Right. That being said, I wouldn't fade him against Coric either. Even at
I wouldn't either. I mean, Coric's been so bad this year. Like, that's why I don't see how this line is 2.5. Like, I guess I do. I do because I guess you could, because I would start this line in terms of player skill, like honestly 4.5 right now. And I would bump it down for Fokina getting tight, and I would bump it down for the long match. And I'm still bumping it down for Fokina getting tight, but I'm not bumping it down for the long match. And like if this was 3.5, I'd probably stay away. I actually don't even mind hitting it at 3 at -105.
I'm thinking
like if this was -120 at 3, I wouldn't hit it.
Into it. I still have to think about it, but I'm getting you're talking me into it. You're talking me into it.
Yeah.
So, all right, next match, Fritz against Zhang. So let me hear your play here.
I'm gonna go Fritz in straights here. 4.5 at -130. It's getting that's close to 5. That's a lot of games for Fritz. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, but Zhang did not have an off day. Just had a tough match against Nori. I'm tempted to play the 4.5 here because the set spread is crappy at -175. I'm tempted to like you could even maybe go aggressive here and lay 5.5 if you wanted.
Well, that's exactly my play. It's 4.5. I am laying the 4.5 games.
What is laying the 5.5 if you wanted to get aggressive?
+135.
Yeah, it's not very good.
It's not good enough. I would rather go than 6.5 and do my +240. But
yeah, if you're gonna do that, that's what.
But the thing is, like Fritz is not a guy that just blows people out. Like
no, that's why I'm even like that's why the 4.5 at -130 I don't love either.
But it's Zhang after 2 really tough matches coming back to back, and he's just like so overmatched here.
I know, but like
I actually don't mind the under 21 at -120. I think that's a good angle to take here.
Is there can you play a Fritz and the under? Is that a play here potentially?
No, they don't have prop for this one.
Or what about the Fritz under? What is the Fritz under 12.5?
-110.
Is that appetizing? That might be more appetizing.
I prefer the under 21 because I could see a 7-5, 6-1 kind of thing.
See, Fritz doesn't really 6-1 or 6-2 too many people though.
Well,
he did today. I know he did it today against Garin, but like that's not
Zhang
really
is way worse
thing for him.
Zhang is way worse than Garin.
Oh, that's why, but that's why the under 12.5, right? Like, can Zhang get to 5 in a set?
I don't think so.
Like, to me, it's just scary because like this could end up like 4-4. But I think there's some like pro Fritz, and the thing is, the 4.5 is -130. Like, I don't hate the 4.5 in of itself. You have to lay -130. Like, so I think I'd rather.
But I don't like the 1.5 straight sets because you're laying so much juice.
No, I don't. I mean,
that might be a parlay piece.
I think that's my parlay piece, but I think, I think it's either the under on the games or the Fritz under 12.5. Which, if you get the Fritz under 12.5, assuming Fritz wins, which he will, you get the game. You get the games, and
I mean, we have a lot of futures on Fritz, so maybe we just stay away and just ride the futures.
Yeah.
Or do you see value in these lines?
I think there's value in something. I think you have to pick which one it is.
Yeah.
I think it's either the under 21 or the under 12.5, though, the more I look at it. I think it's one of those two.
I hate under 12.5. I just think it's like, especially on a fast clay court, because it's like even Alcaraz couldn't do that against Dimitrov.
Yeah, and the problem is like Fritz isn't the guy you want to lay. Like Fritz is not the right guy to play under 12.5 against because he can let anybody into a match. But I don't think this is an over 12.5 spot either.
No, because Zhang is like just not good, and it's a tough turnaround for him. But yeah, I mean, but also Fritz does tend to play down to the level of the competition sometimes, so you got to be wary of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like 4.5. If it was 5, or 5.5, I'd stay away. But 4.5, I think he can,
But then if you have to lay the minus 130 juice, if you want to lay the 4.5,
I think he actually gets there pretty easily. I think the line should have been 5.5.
If you're gonna lay the 4.5 at minus 130, why not play either the over or the under? Why not play the under?
Or the under 21. I like the under 21 too. But
I got to decide. It's just a matter of which line you want to play here, but it's something pro Fritz.
Pro Fritz. All right, Alcaraz and Zverev.
So I think like in terms of matchup, like if there's a prototype, like I said, if there's a prototype of a guy to beat Alcaraz, Zverev's pretty close to it. Good athlete, beat him last year at the French.
But got walloped by him here last year in the final.
But he has a pedigree of playing well here.
I'm laying games with Alcaraz. I'll just put it out there.
4.5 or more.
4.5.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, like, if there's a guy that could win this match, Zverev's the guy.
Not this version of Zverev.
That said, I'm 100% with you. I'm laying the games taking Alcaraz.
Good suspense.
I'm kind of just messing with you. I mean, I do think there's some chance Zverev wins this match, but the plus 345 money line is it's not that good. Like I think it's like, no. But I think there's like some. I do believe what I said about the matchup, but yeah, like Fritz has not been good, or Zverev has not been good. I'm not believing in him beating Hugo F.
No.
Alcaraz is too good. Alcaraz, he drilled him here last year in the final, 3-1. Like, yeah. I'm taking Alcaraz laying the 4.5, and I'm thrilled to do it at minus 105.
Ooh, I like this Alcaraz 2 love at plus 225.
Your favorite bet.
I love that.
I don't hate it. I just hate playing that bet in general. Feels fishy.
I play that. Yeah, I don't know. I think just Zverev is just going to struggle with his intensity and just like his shot making. Like it's just going to be tough for him. He's going to be in every Zverev service game. And then like also those flashy points, like the points where, Alcaraz hits drop shots and stuff like that. That's trouble for Zverev because he doesn't like. I actually think Dimitrov is better equipped for that because he has better hands, better ability to move forward, right? Like Zverev struggles in those kind of cat and mouse points, and I feel like Alcaraz plays quite a bit of them.
I'm with you on the Alcaraz. I'm laying the game, but I'm just saying I think if there's a prototype, like I think there's a non-zero chance Zverev wins this match. Like this is a tricky spot for Alcaraz, but I'll lay the games. It's fine. 4.5 is not that much for Alcaraz.
For Alcaraz. All right, Struff and Khachanov. This was tough for me.
Oh, I have a play here. This is my sneaky play of the day.
Really? Okay.
I'm all over the Khachanov money line here.
Wow.
Yeah. He's been, I mean, look, like he's showing, right? He's been good at this Madrid tournament. This is 2 tournaments out in Madrid. He's been really good. Like, so that's one piece of it. Struff just played a tough match today against Lajovic, right? 3 sets. I think it was like it was, 2-hour match plus.
Yeah.
And then I don't think this is a good matchup for Struff at all. Like, Struff tends to do better with guys who give him more pace. Khachan's not going to do that.
Do you think Khachin is going to like force him into missing?
Yeah, and I think like there's just so many reasons that Struff loses this match. It's an annoying match he can be forced into missing. It feels like a mental letdown spot, honestly. Like after getting a bunch of good wins in the past couple weeks to get here.
But same with Khachin. Like there's a mental letdown spot for him too. Kind of having a couple good wins. Like
it's plus money. He's the dog. And I feel like Struff is more prone to these like momentum we've talked about, right? He's more prone to these errors, these just stretches of errors.
See, okay, so it's not enough for me. Plus 145 is not enough. I need like plus 160 or 170 to hit that.
So you think the line is perfectly set?
Pretty close to perfect. And I just think like Struff just has such a bigger game than Khachin. Like if he's playing well, he blows him off the court because his game is just like twice as big with altitude in like a kind of a warm weather day. I don't know. I think you're banking on Struff not playing well and going through those lulls. What if he doesn't? Like there's a better than 50 or better than 40% chance he doesn't have one of those lulls.
I mean, I don't know. Like, so I'm looking right. I mean, Khachin, he's got wins. He didn't really beat anybody great in the Challenger, the Madrid Challenger, but he's got wins here over Cerundolo and Tiafoe. Pretty solid straight set wins over both those guys.
That's true.
I think the matchup here doesn't favor Struff.
But I mean, just throwing away the Tiafoe match, I think Cerundolo doesn't like the altitude, whereas Struff does.
I agree. This isn't so much of a conditions. Like, I think the conditions are good for both. It's not necessarily that one is better off in the conditions than the other. I just think like is Struff that much better than Khachin? What makes us say that Struff is that much better than Khachin?
They're different players. Like Struff is a guy that tries to be aggressive, has a bigger serve, and Khachin is more a counterpuncher. Right?
100%, yeah.
So I just like it's hard.
But I think that actually plays into.
I just like if this match was in Rome, for example, I would hit it. But here in Madrid with these conditions, I think conditions actually play a factor here. I would need like plus 170 to hit Khachin.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this is closer to a coin flip match. I think this should be like minus 120 plus 100. Like I think this is like I think the blind book is pretty far off here. I just think like Struff, I don't know, man. Like he's also coming off, a tough 3-set win versus Shelton, right? Who's not amazing on clay. Tough 3-set win versus Lajovic. I don't know, man. Like Struff can play some really bad matches. He lost to Karatsev 4-2, and Struff is a lucky loser here. He lost to Karatsev 4-2.
He lost to Gaston and Marrakech, and then he lost to Richard 5-5.
Yeah, like Struff can go through some really ugly stretches.
That's true.
And like you're getting if I wasn't getting plus money, I would agree with you. But you're getting, plus 145 here, I think is pretty good for a guy in Khachin who's pretty hot right now. Like, yeah, the wins in the Madrid Challenger were not impressive, but they were still wins. Like, there's also something weird about Khachin having been
I feel like the bettors are gonna kind of lean towards Struff here. So I'm gonna wait until like tomorrow at 8 o'clock and see if that line moves.
That's a good idea, actually. I mean, I already hit it, but that's a good idea because you're right. I think, and even by the little bit I've seen on Twitter, it feels like more people are backing Struff than Khachanov.
Right. So I'm gonna wait closer to match time and check it out. And if the line moves to like plus 160, I'll hit it. And if it stays at where it is now, I'll stay away. But that's
I moved you from 170 to 160.
I guess so.
That's a win.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah,
I'm curious to see if that line moves.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah. All right, and then the last match is Zapata Miralles and Tsitsipas. My play here is plus 4.5 games for Zapata at even money.
I don't like it at all. I'm
Like
this
it
is
at all?
this I think the book has this hit right. I think this is a bad. Have these guys played before?
No.
I think this is a bad match for Bernabe. I get it, Tsitsipas isn't playing well, but I think this is a bad matchup. I think this is a bad matchup because like Bernabe just doesn't move. Like, how does Bernabe play any defense in Tsitsipas when Tsitsipas is attacking? He's not. I mean, we talked about it over text today. Like, he's not good when he's like. One of the things that Tsitsipas does really well is on the forehand side, he pulls you off the court.
That's
like
true.
Bernabe's done from those positions. On the flip side, Tsitsipas has not been good, and like if Bernabe can keep the ball to the backhand, then it's advantage Tsitsipas. But like, can Bernabe draw short balls off the backhand? I don't think so.
I mean, Tsitsipas is just mishitting a lot back. Like he's not hitting any backhand topspin clean right now.
No, I know. Like that's like I just think like this is a weird. I think the book has this right, like maybe by accident, in that like Tsitsipas isn't playing well right now. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a bad matchup for Bernabe.
Yeah. So do you have a play here?
What's the straight set line? What is the Tsitsipas in straight? It's going to be ugly.
It's going to be like minus 190. Yeah, minus
200. 193. You almost in the head. Yeah, no, this is I don't have a. I think the book has this flat match perfectly played. This is like my other stay away. This and the Munor match, my stay aways. If you had to hit something here, I don't think playing the tiebreak in the match at plus 200 is terrible. I think that could be a viable play. One tiebreak, not multiple, just one tiebreak.
Yeah, one tiebreak at plus 200.
Yeah. There have been a lot of tiebreaks here. Like, just anecdotally speaking, this feels like a match where the attacking player should win the majority of the points. So both guys can attack off the serve, right? Like, you know.
Like, do you think so? If like Bernabe played Baez, who would you favor in these conditions? Pick him.
I think it's close to that. Slightly Baez, but it's probably a pick 'em. But I think this is different because I think Baez matches up a lot better with Tsitsipas than Bernabe does.
Just like if you were just better out of the corners,
Baez is a much better mover, right? Like,
fair.
But like, I guess what I just said about the tiebreak, like, lends you to maybe take the 4.5 with Bernabe at even money. But like, the problem is 4.5 can be just one break in each set. 5-3, 4-3, you lose. But I don't trust Tsitsipas to cover that 4.5 either. He's not playing well enough right now to do that. Like, I just think the book is like, this is like 4.5 is the line I would have set for this match, which means I have to stay away. I mean, I guess I could maybe play the even.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I'm gonna cash out of that. I don't like it. Just thinking about Bernabe's game and just like, yeah, this is Tsitsipas. If he gets a mid-court forehand, the point is over. Even if Bernabe gets to it, because it's just.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't go the other way either.
I know. I'm not going the other way. And I bet Tsitsipas straight setting Baez today and got burned. So I'm not doing that here either. So. All right, so let's put together a
we can put a little parlay. Yeah, we got some
parlay.
stuff here.
So we got stuff here. So obviously Rublev
minus 2.5 is in it. Medvedev minus 4 is in it. Yeah.
You want to do Fokina 12.5?
Yeah. You want to do Fritz straight sets? That's a parlay piece?
Yeah.
Because he really should not lose a set to Zhang, man.
No, he should not. Fritz straight sets.
Make sure you pick the better straight sets line.
Yeah.
You have like 3 different options because there's all these like goofy props.
I don't really want to add Alcaraz minus 4.5 in it.
Oh, wait, which one did you pick for Fritz?
I have to place this in another book, but
okay.
Yeah. Fine. Oh, the WW is out. 176.
We actually got it right this time. We did 175. They actually hit this right this time.
All right, 175 is the best.
Steal that extra cent.
Oh, yeah, we're not.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Why not? We're not giving any free money to Boban.
No. Alcaraz minus 4.5. No, you don't want to add Alcaraz here?
That's the one I have the least confidence in.
So you think Zverev could cover 4.5? You haven't said a pro thing about Zverev in 5 months.
You know what? Add it. I like it.
And that's it. Because I mean, you don't feel good about Khachanov, right? Which is fine.
No, yeah, that one.
No pressure there.
And then the other two, Munar, yeah, that's like a stay away.
That's a 5-leg parlay. That's pretty good.
That's good. So that is 18-1. About.
Not bad. Not bad. Especially given Fritz and straight should be a hit.
We're laying a lot of games. But
I think like these are some mismatches, I think, in terms of like, not in terms of like overall skill level, but just in terms of like matchup.
I would agree.
Which kind of sucks. Because we're projecting a shitty day of tennis tomorrow.
I guess, yeah. I mean, as long as it's a good day with betting, I'm fine. Especially because I'm going to be at work and I can't really watch too much of it. So
my prediction is that I'm going to get owned because of the my prediction is we're going to get owned, and I'm not sure how. But my prediction is my prediction is Coric is going to be ADF and fuck us. That's my prediction. I can just see it now. Coric is going to pull off like ADF is going to be mentally gassed from the room and Coric is going to beat him. And like I could see. I mean, maybe this is Coric's tournament to win. The one random tournament he shows up to a year,
win Cincinnati. So yeah. What? He did come out of nowhere and win Cincinnati last year.
Yeah, like maybe now he comes back and like maybe this is the new Coric thing: is you come out of the grave like once a year, steal a Masters, and then like go back into the grave for a while.
Don't let it be this one.
I know,
please. Yeah, I mean,
it'd be so fun to have Fokina make the final. Like Fokina's just such a fun guy to root for too.
He is.
Like there are some bets you make. What?
We got so many futures in play. It's going to be like, if the guys that we think are going to win tomorrow, like it's going to be a stressful weekend.
I know. But what's going to be weird, what's going to be just flat out weird, and it's actually really likely to happen, is when Fokina plays Alcaraz in the semis. Because like, yeah, you're getting 40-1. But like we will have the chance to hedge that at that point if we want to. Put like 20 units on like the Alcaraz money line and guarantee yourself like as a hedge.
Interesting. Interesting play. And the thing is, I also have Alcaraz-Fritz. So if Fritz is in the mix, then you could hedge that, and then
you could like double hedge.
Double hedge, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of interesting things coming. And then I have Tsitsipas too at 10-1. So
and you have the Tsitsipas Alcaraz final.
Alcaraz at 8.5-1.
So you have all kinds of. You have way more fun stuff than I do.
And then I have these guys to win quarters too. I have Fritz to win the quarter. I have ADF to win the quarter as well.
Yeah.
So
what did you get on Fritz to win the quarter?
5-1. So yeah, not bad.
I mean, it's basically can he beat Medvedev, which I actually think that's pretty close to a flip, to be honest.
Yeah, Medvedev will be favored. So yeah.
But I'll probably hit a Fritz money line there if that's the quarter.
I'll just stay away and ride the futures. But the fact that we still have a lot of these guys in, like, it just like leads to opportunities where you don't have to bet that match because you just ride the futures. So
yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. If Hubie was still in it, it would be even better. Oh, but Hubie would have played ADF tomorrow.
Yeah, we would have lost one anyways. I mean, it's actually not horrendous.
It's not
because like Hubie and ADF would just wear each other out. That would be like an over 35. If ever there were a match to play like a ridiculous over 35, it would be Hubie ADF.
Over 35, and I would probably hit that at -110.
I mean, really, right? Like, is that not like the ultimate like
overmatch? Yeah,
like that actually almost is a match where like the 3-set line should be -110.
It's true. All right, well, I think that does it for this pod. Do you think this deserves a Medvedev bow?
This is a pretty good pod. It's short, but it's
good. We only have like 30 views, so we don't have too much of an audience, but we'll give a bow. That's fine.
Yeah, but we're getting some Who Might Me Bros come back. We're happy to see him back in the mix.
Yep. Who else is out there?
I mean, Klaus is always out there.
Klaus is always out there.
He gets his standard mention.
Oh, Wooj! Shout out to Wooj.
Wooj!
Well, thank you for the Twitter messages last week. Yeah. We appreciate you listening to us.
Yeah.
Match point 9 as always. So it's been great.
Yeah, we also appreciate some of the other podcasts out there. It's really interesting to hear what people at the Bet Rivers podcast, and those guys are Nigel's just hilarious. Mm-hmm. It's great to hear what those guys have to say too. And part of the fun of getting more involved in this has been getting to hear the other podcasts and their thoughts. Because some of them do a really, really interesting job of articulating their thoughts.
Yep. And we'll make sure we give you credit when it's deserved. Like if we tail you, we'll make sure we mention it on Twitter and stuff. Like we're not going to take the credit for stealing your.
We'll try not to. If I steal anything and I forget to give credit, but it's a mistake, guys. I love you.
Yeah.
Don't want to steal your thunder.
All right, everyone. So have a good night. Take care. Good luck on your bets.
Thanks, guys.